Yo, welcome to Music is a Day Job. I'm your host, Sean, and today's question is how do I stop my friends from asking for free tickets? Well, see, this is kind of broken down in when I talk about the difference between friends, family versus fans. Because your friends and family aren't really your fans, they're going to be in like I guess you can kind of say they support for a moment and then they become the people that they want the family hookup and everything like that. Now we all get mad and we say, hey, like people should support us, so I guess pay because that supports us and everything like that. But then when they're doing it multiple shows and everything like that, then it becomes where they get worn out. They're spending tons of money and everything like that to see the same thing. They're not really your fans. So what happens is you either wear them out or you have I guess you have two different kind of friends and family. Like you have the ones that support for a while and then you wear them out, and then you have the ones that want it free off the bat. Okay, so let's go with the first one. I mean the second one. The ones that want it free just straight out, like all the time free. Those really aren't your friends because you got to talk to them and kind of say, "Yo, if this is what I want to do with my life, so I need the support from this situation." So it has to be where they want to support. You see what I'm saying? Like they have to be able to put in on this, and if they don't believe in you, then you got to cut them off. It was a hard spot for us when we were kind of moving to that little separation, because even though we didn't have that many friends because we were kind of older when we got into the game, um, the ones that were, it was kind of a hard realization of who is your really friend and who really wants to support you. So you end up coming to this wall where like your life is going one way and you want to become a musician, like this is what your dream is, and then they really don't support you. They just want to come along because you're their friend or you're their family, and then they want the benefits of what goes down. And you see this as you get bigger, because by the time I started getting into spots where it's 15,000 people or whatever, like summer jams and everything like that, when I was doing those, they all come back out the woodworks and then want to pay then, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, man, can you get me over here? No, I can't do it because you didn't want to support early in the game. You didn't want to support when we was struggling, when we was coming up, and we was doing these little spots. So you really got this, allows you to kind of pick who's in your life. This gives you the option and kind of see who really supports you and who's really just there for other purposes or other benefits in your life. So as a musician, this is a good way to separate who you need to spend your time on, because as your time becomes minimal with how much you have to put into this, you then can see who else deserves more time. So that first person that you have that just wants to get in free all the time, just wants to go to everything for free, that makes it easy for you to get them out of your life, which is a good thing. At first it probably will feel bad because you're kind of like, yo, you know what I'm saying? But it makes it easy for you to get to that next step and be like, I got this person out of my life. I'm doing what I'm ready to do what I want to do. I've kind of maximized my time, and then my efforts go towards people that deserve it, plus what my craft is. So then that's very important. Now the other person. So now when you have family and friends, that at some point they're going to be like, "Yo, I got to get in free or whatever because I've been paying for so many shows." Now I respect that. Like let's say they didn't already came 3, 4 shows. Now, this is where you have to be in the idea of this is a business, so you can kind of turn this over and make this work for you. If you understand that your friends and family are only going to come to 3, 4 shows and pay, let's say this year, 2 or 3, 4, whatever, let's say 4 shows, then by the fifth, you still need people in the building. So as I always tell people, when you have people in the building, and let's say you have 20 people and it's 100 people in the building, if you have 20 people, it's going to become contagious, because if they're chanting your music, the other people will be like, oh, and give you a look at that point. That gives you the opportunity to make turn over other fans, because when they give you that look, they're going to see how it sounds. If it sounds good, or if the energy's moving, the energy is going to transfer to them, and they're going to be like, oh, I need to know who this artist is. So the smart way is, as you're turning over fans over the first 4 shows, when your fans or when your friends and family are paying, you're trying to transfer those fans over, the other fans over, so they become people who pay. So in a seamless world, then you're getting this transfer as you go. So by the time your friends and family start falling off because of life situations, they already paid for 4 shows, they've already seen this show, they've already, as they start to fall off, because see, they only support you because they know you. They're not supporting you because they're an actual fan, as I said. So then as they fall off, as you transfer into your fans, then that's a seamless transfer. But we all know it's not exactly seamless. So then there's a little bit of part of when you still need some of these people. So then what I would do is, as I sold tickets to my new fans and I'm getting my new fans in, some of my friends would still buy tickets going over. And then some of my friends I would just get on the list because I knew I was going to sell a certain amount of tickets. So anything I needed to get from like the promoter or anything like that was there because I already knew I was going to do a certain amount of number of people who were going to come into the building. So I already knew. So then I'd be like, yo, let's get some extra people in here. I'm going to give away, like, let's say I already know 50 people buying, so 10 people I'm going to get in for free because I'm going to be like, yo, let's get 10 extra people in here. They're going to drink, they're going to whatever. And then those 10 extra people, I would start off with my friends and people who were loyal for multiple shows. And I would start getting them on, I'd get them into the buildings, and then it looks like even a bigger crowd. So then even when I'm at like 100, and then I might add an extra 20. So I might do 10 per 50. And then, for instance, add an extra 20, that makes 120 people in the building. The 20 people that got in for free are the day ones that were already supporting. They're more than likely chanting, knowing the songs. These new 100 have been to one or two shows because these are fans that came from those early days as I accrued them. And then now it's easy for me to even get a bigger crowd. Like, for instance, if I have that 120 inside a crowd of 1,000, now I'm gonna really start grabbing way more people. You see what I'm saying? So then it's not always bad that sometimes people want to come for free if they were already supporters for a good bit of time, because then you can use that to help you gain more fans as you have already accrued fans, and then you're basically kind of giving back to those people that are day ones. When you give back to those people that are day ones, they'll probably come back around and purchase again later. You know what I'm saying? So then at that point, you're giving them excitement for free, and they've already purchased tons of stuff, and then you're going to give them a little something that makes them possibly even turn into fans and not just be friends and family, because then they're like, yo, this is dope. And as they see the real fans kick in, some of them turn over and become fans themselves. So it's a double-sided thing about people who always want to who end up wanting free tickets from you, but you got to use it to your advantage because it's going to happen, and you don't want to miss out on the ideas that you could use to actually benefit you from people who get free tickets versus the idea of people who are just using you to get free tickets because they're just around. So you want to separate that and make that happen. So then it becomes very easy for you to, I guess you can kind of say, decide who your friends are. That's number one. On the other end, to give back to the people who are your day ones. And then on the other end, for you to benefit from having that amount of crowd at venues that you perform at. So that's my answer to that question. This Music is a Day Job. I'm your host, Sean. Music is a Day Job is brought to you by the Qoncert app.